I hardly ever find tool reviews where somebody's like, this thing, don't waste your money for X, Y, and Z.
You are so right. And you know what the problem is? The tool companies know there's a YouTuber or something like that with 10,000 followers. They know they can shower them with free tools and win them over.
Welcome to Off the Cut.
Dude, I haven't touched any wood in a long time.
And that's why it's covered in plastic.
Oh, man.
Some X-rated content there.
I don't care how long it is.
Thoroughly excited.
Great for the pocketbook, bad for the environment.
Oh, I'm number 3.
I like it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm glad we got the explicit out of the way early.
If I'm going to put money into this, it's going to be great. And I guarantee.
Don't forget to spend your Burkle bucks.
That was super easy.
Get it?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Off the Cut podcast. Today is July 29th, and this episode is 175. This week, as you've probably already ascertained from me doing the intro in lieu of Eric, he's, I don't even know what he's doing. He's in the Catskills. Where is he?
Just told us last minute he's leaving, and that was it. Just kind of left us hanging.
It was like last week on the Aftershow. He's like, hey guys, I'm not coming in next week. See you dorks later. And then he just hung up.
Noped out on us. That's all right. He's not going to listen to this. He'll never know.
Exactly. We can talk all the shit we want about Eric.
That's right.
He'll never even know. It's beautiful. Even though Eric is missing this week, KM Tools is still supporting the podcast. Their store is by woodworkers for woodworkers. And that means that every single thing in that store is either designed by Jonathan and his team, or, he likes to collaborate with other content creators too, or it's stuff that they actually use in their workshops. It's not just a bunch of cheap crap that he got off Temu and he's marking up 500%. It's all really high quality stuff. And I can attest to that. He sent me some samples of stuff, and it's been absolutely amazing. It's pretty inspirational. I mean, Jonathan's a good guy, and I don't know. I really like the store. I really like his ethos, where he goes after everything he does is quality. There's no cut corners with him, which is definitely really cool. And not only so there's two things I got to tell you here. One is that a portion of every single sale goes to support the Katz Moses Woodworkers with Disabilities Fund, where he takes a little bit off the top of every single sale and uses it to put tools in the hands of people who need them. It's really inspirational. It's really good stuff. And then also, he supports all our patrons. He gives us a $50 gift card every single month to give away to one lucky patron. So if you want to get entered to win that, we do the drawing on the first episode of every single month, and all you got to do is go to Patreon. Yeah, next episode, you're right. So all you got to do if you want to enter is go to patreon.com/offthecutpodcast, sign up, and you're automatically entered. And then I was emailing back and forth with our second sponsor, Mr. Bill Burkle, earlier today. Yeah, it was. We still got to get him on the show.
Oh, yeah. We got, when everything's, the summer dies down and everybody's status quo again, we'll have him back on. We'll have him on, I should say.
I think it's legitimately very interesting to talk to people who are running different types of businesses. When you're at like a party that your wife drags you to or whatever, you talk to some other guy and he's like, I run a carpet cleaning business. And it's like, you might think that's like, you might be like, oh, carpet cleaning, that's boring. No, that's actually really interesting if you're willing to dig into it. And I think the retail side of things is specifically interesting. So why don't you tell the fine people at home about Mr. Bill Burkle.
Mr. Bill Burkle? WTB Woodworking. Yeah, WTB Woodworking, a proud sponsor of this podcast, our second sponsor we've had so far. And he's got everything you need. Mafel. Best tool, saw stop, bits and bits, boss dog glue from our previous guest, Nick Starrett. He's got everything. He's also milling and drying slabs in-house, so you can see the entire selection online.
That's cool.
And he's running a huge giveaway right now through September 19th for the Wagner Moisture Meter. Yes. This little kit, you can get yourself a Wagner Orion 950 dual depth moisture meter, and it's worth over about $922.
Crazy how much they charge for those moisture meters. They have the cheap ones on Amazon. They're like $50, and you cannot trust those things, right?
No. Yeah, you can put your money, get your money's worth out of something like that for sure. Yeah. So just head over to wtbwoodworking.com/giveaway and check that out. Bill's also throwing an extravaganza for his 1-year anniversary at his store.
Party coming up.
That's right. Got a big party coming up Saturday, October 25th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Long party.
That's local time.
Yeah, true. What is it? I guess it's Eastern time?
That'll be Eastern time because he's in Huntingdon Valley, Pennsylvania.
Woo.
And that's at 390 Pike Road, Units 1 and 2 now. I think I've heard rumor he's got Unit 3 or he's about to pick up Unit 3.
He's going to close on Unit 3? Okay.
Yeah, he's
taking
over. They might be changing Huntingdon Valley or Pike Road to Woodworking, Bill Burkle Road or something.
Burkle
I don't know. Burkle Ave, right? So, Bill Burkle, man. He's supporting us, and we appreciate that very much. Check out the extravaganza he's got going on. He's going to have food, drinks, and discounts on tons of stuff. Lots of people are going to be there. We've heard Keith Johnson's going to be there.
Yeah, that's
probably plugging some Lamello or some Lamello. Yeah, meet and greet with Keith Johnson. There you go.
Yeah, that's fine. I think the one thing Bill is missing from his store is some of his own products.
Yeah, he does not have his own products.
I know. Well, I mean, obviously he's got. I shouldn't say he doesn't have his own products. He's got obviously he's doing the milling. And so you're buying that directly from him. But I mean, like tools and stuff like that. I would maybe when we have him on as a guest, we can pick his brain about if he's developing anything secret in the background.
I wonder if we can negotiate a deal and get him to carry some of Cap's Moses' stuff in his shops.
Ooh, maybe a little cross-pollination. Yeah. That's a good idea, Deric. Yeah. What should we charge as our commission? I'm thinking like 90%, 80%, something like that.
Somewhere there, yeah.
Yeah, we'll broker the deal for a reasonable fee.
Absolutely. So what you been up to?
Well, since you asked, I wanted to start off this episode with a big thank you because I think it was during the Aftershow last week. You gave me an idea for my product that I was showing you. So this is my soldering fume extractor for everybody watching in the live chat. And I had a design last week and I was like, I wasn't happy with it because the problem with it was that it needed outside hardware. In order to assemble it, you would need to go and like buy some M5 screws and screw it together. So Deric told me, he was like, dude, why don't you just make some 3D printed thumb screws that tie it all together? And that's exactly what I did here.
Excellent.
So not only did it simplify the whole design, but it actually solid it up quite a bit. So it's got an adjustable stand on it so you can kind of tilt it in a number of different directions depending on what you're working on. Mm-hmm. And the way the thumb screws work is you can just crank them down when you have it at the right angle and it'll hold it perfectly.
Nice. So then it just pulls it in the back there and blows it out the front?
So pulls it in the front actually and then blows it out the back through this charcoal filter here. And you know, looking through it, you can kind of see air passing through it, right?
Yeah.
So I was skeptical because it's so again for people who are just listening to the sound of my nasally drone, it's a charcoal filter, but you can see light coming through it. So it doesn't give you a lot of, you know, you're pulling smoke into it. I was like, is this thing really going to purify? But this is what all the commercial units use, and I tested it out, and it actually works really well. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if you've done much soldering, Deric, but when you're burning flux especially, it can get really stinky.
Yeah. As a child, I dabbled in electronics and soldering and stuff, but not the safest way, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've been working the wrong way for the last couple of years now. Yeah. I used to be more diligent about like doing it near a window and having the window open and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's the older I get, the more I take my health seriously. So that's
absolutely,
the birth of this thing.
Yeah, I got a few soldering projects that are in my list of things I want to do. And I still got my old soldering iron and everything, and I want to get to them, but they just keep moving further down the list as other things get added. So eventually I'll solder something again.
That's the tricky thing about being at a I was going to say content creator, but I feel like it's just being an adult. It's like you have this wish list of things that you want to do, and if you don't make time for it, it's really easy to kick things on down that list. Like this project almost became that.
Oh,
it was, I think, only going away on vacation where I was like, you know what, I really need to do that because I don't know. It's just I had it like 90% finished, and it was just carrying it across the finish line, which was our convo last week. Literally, I had that convo. I sat down the next day, spent 2 hours on it, printed it out, and it was done. So
did you adjust it from it snapping together to now it's held together by the one thumb screw, the thumb screw?
Yeah. It's great too because I was able to reduce the number of pieces. Originally, I had a middle piece, a hood, and a filter holder. Now I just have the main piece that's integrated into the hood, and then a filter holder that goes over it. Then the thumb screws go through both and tie everything together.
Nice.
And I was a little skeptical about whether or not 3D printed threads would work that well, but I didn't. So I did one where I just did, I clicked the female side. I said, make this M15. I clicked the male side. I said, make this M15. And then I printed that in GymWork. So I had to go in manually and add like a 0.25 millimeter clearance to it. And then it worked quite well after that. So,
I was thinking like you really don't need it to like screw in too deeply. You really just need it to like I'm trying to think of like what I've seen recently where it just kind of it goes over the for the AMS you get, let me grab one.
Let's see, what's he grabbing? Oh,
sorry, I know.
That's okay.
One of these, what are these called again?
Desiccant holders that go it's a desiccant spool holder.
So like there's like just this one little slot that it threads into, right? And then you just turn it a quarter turn and it locks in.
Yeah. Ooh, that's
so
nice.
Yeah, for what you're doing, I imagine you don't need it to thread like you said, an M6 bolt. It just needs to lock into place. And that's kind of what I was thinking whenever I was telling you that.
You know what? Now that you say it, these are actually quite long. These are here. Let me see if I can undo one of these. I think they're like 10 millimeters or something. Maybe even a little bit more than that. Let's see. Maybe I don't need nearly as much thread as I have on here. So there, that's what they look like.
Oh, yeah.
So I could actually, you're right, I could make them quite a bit smaller if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't know how many redesigns of this thing I want to do. At a certain point,
it works, like, right?
It does. It works. Yeah. It works well. So it's like, do I need to really keep going back and reinventing the wheel?
That's right. Yeah, I don't mean to change it on you there.
No, it's okay. I mean, I appreciate the feedback. I should. Yeah. And actually, one thing I want to do before I put these up for sale is I want, if you don't mind, I'd love to send you a copy of the file and have you print it out, see if you have any issues on your end.
Oh, maybe that'd be great.
Scott too, because he's saying he's destroyed his lungs, how much solder he's breathed in over the years.
Yeah, happy to. Absolutely.
All right, that'd be awesome. Thank you, man. So, I mean, honestly, I've been working on that. I'm deep into tool research right now. I talked about it on the podcast probably, I don't know, before I left for vacation. I want to change over all my tools to just be one brand, which is in this case DeWalt. So I've been playing like day trader on Facebook Marketplace. I'll sell tools and then I'll like take the cash from that, go buy new tools, and like slowly convert over my whole lineup. But I got tools on the brain, man. I'm deep into all these. My YouTube algorithm now is all tool comparison videos.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever got into any of those?
It's watching those tool comparison videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially like early on. I say early on, like, I don't know, like 9-10 years ago, I'd pull up some, and every once in a while I will start researching a tool like you're talking about, like deep diving, looking into like, I need a table saw or whatever it is that I'm looking for. Saw. Comparing all the different ones and then watching different videos on them and watching comparison videos. I find that comparison videos are a little more informative than just a straight up review of the tool. I find the ones that are just reviews of the tool tend to be a little bias. Like nobody, I hardly ever find tool reviews where somebody's like, this thing, don't waste your money for X, Y, and Z.
You are so right. And you know what the problem is? It's these tool companies know, and they are, so the tool companies know, though. They know that they can basically, if there's a YouTuber or something like that with 10,000 followers, they know they can shower them with free tools and win them over. And whether or not like the content creator themselves is actually cognizant of it, this is something I've been thinking about a lot lately, is, you develop a relationship with the person, because it's easy to say like, oh, Milwaukee or DeWalt as a big company. But when you're a content creator, you don't actually interface with them directly. It's usually through a representative of the company. So you end up becoming, kind of buddy-buddy with this person who's then sending you free tools. And it's a very human thing. It's like, you might not even really realize how biased you become to a brand just based on those interactions.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, a free tool always seems to work better than the one that you had to pay for anyways, right?
100%. So I think a lot of there's a lot of, I've seen a lot of tool reviews where the person will be like, oh, this tool was sent to me, but I'm going to give you my honest opinion on it. Yeah. And I don't even think it's they're lying when they say that. I think they actually believe that when they're saying it themselves.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're maybe aware of the subtle bias they have, like, lurking beneath the surface, so to speak.
Yeah. It's hard to separate out that, I imagine.
Yeah, definitely.
Whenever you get something, especially like, because you feel grateful that you got something of value and you want to reciprocate that to the company. And
having been on the other side of this too, usually the person you're interacting with is heaping praise on you. They're like, oh, that was a fantastic video. Oh, like, this is so great. The team over here is so happy with it. Blah, blah, blah. Like all this, like, I'm sure none of that's true. Yeah, but they try to make it like a positive experience for you. And you have to be kind of a little savvy to realize that.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen a single one where they've said, I've been given this tool, but I'm going to give you an honest review. And then they've said anything of note or negative, especially nothing negative.
Yeah.
And nothing like, not a down ticket anyway. It's all positive. And even like whenever they talk about something that's not so positive, there's that positive spin that gets put on it.
Like I used it the first time and it broke in my hand, but it's not that big a deal because it was like it's still a good tool anyways. And you're like, really? Like I'd be pretty pissed if I spent $50 on this thing. It just disintegrated in my hands.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's funny. I did one, and I'm speaking from personal experience here. I did one of these videos kind of. I got the Mirka Duros, the 6-inch sander. This is like a $600, $700 sander that I got. And I got it like through a friend of a friend, but they knew I was a content creator, so they gave it to him to give to me. Long story. But I was like, I'm going to do a review video on this sander. And I was specifically very critical of it because I was like, I don't want to be one of these guys who got it for free and then just does like the puff piece. So I did like the things I liked about it. And then I actually tried to like add like, I don't know, 3 or 4 things that I legitimately didn't like about it to kind of even it out and be somewhat unbiased. But again, like I was saying, it's impossible not to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say it's impossible not to be because there are a couple of channels, Torque Test channel and Project Farm.
Oh, yeah?
I think both of those guys they buy everything themselves.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the difference. Whenever they're buying it themselves, I feel like you're getting a little bit more of an honest review.
Yes, and I think I don't trust any, like you were saying, I don't trust any reviews it's not that I don't trust them, but I know that they're biased if they're not buying them themselves.
Yeah. I know who I need to go watch whenever there's a tool that I've already decided subconsciously that I want to buy.
Yeah, who's that?
Oh, like just any of these guys that are
I see.
yeah.
Those exist purely to like reinforce your
To
decision.
motivate me. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like 731. I'll go watch his stuff whenever I know what I'm interested in.
That's okay. That's interesting because I don't watch a lot of his content. I know he does a lot of these tool videos.
Yeah.
But are they generally like positive more so that they're not very critical?
Well, I mean, since he started doing the tool review stuff, I haven't watched as much, but the ones I've seen are very, like whenever I've gone to research certain things, like some routers or something like that, I'll come across his, and they are very positive, genuinely. And I haven't seen a lot of like comparison. Well, I guess whenever I was looking at Tracksaw, he did a comparison between a couple different track saws, and there was some information there that was helpful, but it was generally positive. Like he didn't dwell on or highlight too much on the negative, but that could also be his personality type. He's a very positive guy and generally tends to focus on the positive. So maybe it's just that too.
I like to give people the benefit of the doubt in that regard too. You know, again, like I was saying, like I don't think people are even aware of their bias a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I don't want to like I don't want to like throw content creators under the bus.
No. That's not what I meant. I just meant like I know that like if I want the positive reviews, I know where I can go, and I can I can get all the highlights of all the good stuff and reinforce my decision making there.
Yes, I do think we should title this episode the one where they call out 731 Woodworks as a shill.
Get on that radar.
But it's funny. You're right, though. There is a mode of research you get in when you're like thinking about buying a new tool, where you're like, I just want to go here and like hear some positive stuff about this tool and like hype me up to buy it.
Yeah,
it's just a weird thing you do as an adult. Basically, anytime you start like deep researching things, it's like, okay, you're gonna buy it.
You got to justify that purchase.
I know, right? I know.
Not just to me, to my the other half of the household has to sign off on things like that too.
That's true. If it's a big enough purchase, you gotta, you gotta run it by. I'm pretty good. Like right now, I'm basically just horse trading like my old tools for new tools, so I don't really have to do much. Much justification. Basically, I'm selling this drill. I'm going to buy this drill.
Oh yeah, because it's just like a 3-to-1 trade or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It just gives me an idea for a YouTube video, maybe like around Valentine's Day, a top 5 ways to convince your spouse to get tools or something.
Ooh, and you know what? You could sell a template to people. It's like, here are 3 arguments you can use with your significant other.
Here's your talking points.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that one.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a real thing. I have some friends who like their significant other like locks down their spending. It's funny that negotiation that happens between different couples. Like, Sophie and I are relatively hands off on each other's finances. It's she rarely ever gives me any guff for anything that I buy.
Well, I mean, it's one thing whenever your finances are separate and they're your own finances, and like I've known people that have been married for 10 years and they still have separate bank accounts, and as long as the bills are paid, they don't care what each other does with with the bank or with the money. It's their money.
I think we're closer to that. We have joint finances for like our joint expenses, but we still maintain our own bank accounts and like our own financial independence to some degree.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I don't know if it's a generational thing or if it's just, I'm not sure how that, I think my parents always did that when I was growing up as a kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's easier now, especially like, cause 20, 30 years ago to open up each account that you open had fees associated with it. Whereas now, like they're handing out free checking accounts like candy and savings accounts and all that stuff. So you can have multiple accounts. Like I have a checking account that I've had since high school that I don't really put anything in, but
and you don't get anything.
It doesn't cost me anything. No,
the bank account gives you like the bank company gives you no credit for being with them for 30 plus years.
that's the thing. I keep it because it's a credit union account, and you do get
I
like
see.
a little like special treatment. You know, you have to be a member of a credit union essentially.
I see. Yeah, Canada's weak with the credit unions. I've only ever seen like 2 or 3 of them, and I don't even know if they're still around. We're dominated by the big banks. There's like 5 or 6 banks for the entire country. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, that's what I've been working on. What have you been working on?
Oh man, not a whole. I've been like in this. I'm between projects, if you will. So
Okay.
I've been trying to relax a little bit and take it easy, you know, because things slowed down finally.
That's also
But at the same
summertime.
point, yeah, and it's like the kids are going back to school in a week, so we got kind of all that stuff going on, and that kind of keeps you busy. And then on the other hand, I've got 2 projects that are smallish, and I should get through a week each. Coming up, like I've got my daughter is the next one I'm doing. She wants to move her bed into her closet. Like she has a
Murphy bed
closet
style? Or
Yeah, it's
walk-in?
like no, it's like it's got a double door. So
Okay.
like 2 doors that open up, and it's like 2 inches more narrow than her mattress. So we
Okay.
could put the mattress in there. It just kind of squeezes a little on each side. And so I'm building a platform for that mattress to sit on,
Okay.
based on some IKEA shelving that her and my wife ordered.
Hold on.
already.
I need to dive back into the motivation for this for a second. Does she want to get in the closet and close the doors so she can have like a
We
like
took
a
the doors off the
sensory-
hinge. The doors aren't in there at all. It's just like
Oh.
it's a space saving thing. So she
Okay.
can like she's basically extended her room into the closet. Is what's
Yeah, so
happened.
she wants to have like more floor space in what used to be the room.
Yeah, because she's getting a couch to put in there.
Okay.
So she'll
okay.
have a couch where her bed was. And
Okay.
then when her friends are over and hanging out, they can all have a place to sit and hang out, or she can sit on the couch, lay around, watch TV, whatever she wants to do. And then she's got the bed for sleeping.
I
And
think
so
when I
that's
was
kind
like
of what it came from.
16 or 17, I got a couch in my bedroom and I felt like a millionaire. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
wow, this is living.
All the cool kids had couches or chairs or something, and like the
Yeah.
old dad's old lazy boy or something was in their
100%.
bedroom. Yeah, so that's what she wants.
Okay.
And it's,
Okay.
we got like my wife got some, you know, those cube organizer shelf things.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So IKEA sells some, but they've got like really thick, like 2-inch sides, and you know that goes all around it, so they're chunky.
Yeah, I know the ones.
Yeah, clacks or something like that is what
Yeah, I
they're
had
called.
them in college.
Yeah. So she's got 3 of those, and then one of them's going to go at the foot of the bed facing out, and then 2 more will go on the sides of the bed, again facing out.
Okay.
And then I'll build a little box platform to go between them to support
Okay.
the bed from underneath, and then a sheet that'll go over top of like a sheet of plywood, basically.
Wait, so
One piece.
inside the closet, will she be able to access the ones on the side?
She'll be able to access one at the top and one at the bottom, but she won't be able to access fully the 2 in the middle.
Okay.
They'll be kind of
All right.
blocked off.
Yeah.
But that's understood. That's what they expected. So I'm like, okay, you know, whatever. That's y'all's thing, not mine.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So and then I'll put the just a sheet of plywood painted
Okay.
over all of that to support the mattress fully. It's basically a platform bed at that point. And then her old headboard will still go in there where
Okay.
her headboard is gone. And then
I think
gonna
you need
put
to
it-
pitch like a curtain tour that closes off the whole thing, and then she can go full sensory deprivation and like get the best night's sleep of her life.
well, what she and my wife did is, you ever seen these people that they get like, I forget what it is. It's like stuffing or something like that. And they'll
I don't
put
think so.
LED rope light on the ceiling, and then they'll put this like stuffing foam
Oh, and it looks
along
like
it, and it looks like clouds. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
I
what
have
she
seen
did.
that.
Yeah, so I laid out the LEDs. I attached them to the ceiling. Like I printed off all these little. I have some still. All these little clips for the ceiling.
Was
I'm
that
just like-
was that a very like proud dad moment where you're like, I could 3D print that. I could
can
design that and 3D print that for you.
Absolutely. And it was just like I literally like we were talking about the idea, and I was like, all right. And I turned around, I pulled up Fusion 360 while we're sitting on the couch still talking about it. I sketched them out, printed them off, And then 15, 20 minutes later, I went up and I had the first prototype off, and I was testing it against him, everything, and it works. And she goes, my wife goes, oh, did it come with clips? I was like, no, I just printed that one off. She was like, you just printed that off? I was like, yeah. And I was like, she's like, oh. And I was like, no, I just got to print off about 50 more and I'm good to go.
Yeah. All right. So you got a couple brownie points at the top. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Have your kids expressed any interest in the 3D printer? I know, like, you have one in the house. It's got to be, depending on the personality type of your kid. I imagine that as a kid, if my dad got one, I'd be like, whoa, this is so cool. But
my daughter, not really. Like, there's been a couple things where she's like, I kind of want the, like, utility type stuff. Like, she wanted, like, a thing to put her for her headphones to hang them off of next to the desk. But not much. Okay. And it's been things that I've come up with and I'm like, I think you could use this. Let me, and then I'll do it for her. Like, she had a tablet for school, like a drawing tablet. And, it was just flat on the table at school. And she's like, it just kind of bugs me because it needs to be up at a little bit of an angle. And then so that night I sketched up some little like support feet on Fusion and printed those out. And then the next morning before she went off school, I was like, here, take this with you. Just clip them in like this. And then, it'll put your tablet up at an angle. And she's like, really? And she goes to school and she comes back. She's like, that worked really great. And I'm like, yeah, that's how it works. So my son, he sends me stuff all the time. He's like, hey, can you, but it's not like, he's like, hey, can you print this? And I'm like, I can. But I'm probably not going to because it's a lot of just like little figurines and stuff like that. And I'm like, I usually wait to see if he asks for it a couple more times to see if he really wants it. And then like, there's things where he's like, hey, you could create this thing and print it on the 3D printer. And I'm like, I could, or we could, I could show you how to do it. And like, we can work together on it.
Oh,
he's like,
I see.
Nah, I just want it to be done. I'm like, okay.
You don't want to become his personal 3D printing service. You want him to learn the skill of how to operate it if he wants to, which I think is fair. I mean, that's, I feel like there was a lot of that I experienced growing up. I'd be like, Dad, can you do this thing for me? He'd be like, no, but I'll show you how to use all the tools and you can do it yourself. And it's a good litmus test for kids. It's like, how much do you really want this thing?
Yeah. Are you willing to put in just a modicum of effort?
Yes. And a 3D printer, like, by the way, if he wants you to print like little figurines and stuff like that, that's not that hard. You just go to the website, you pop it into the slicer, it's like 5-minute round trip.
Yeah. It's not that there's an easy lift for sure. It's more about like, do I have the time and do I have the filament to do it?
Yeah, true. I mean, if you get into printing toys and stuff like that, we talk about, the cost of filament is relatively low from a business perspective when you're prototyping parts for things that you plan to sell, or, whether it's to, viewers or to clients, like when you were doing those display stands. Like, then the cost of filament is relatively low. But if you're getting into just like printing random figurines for your kids, it's like, well, then it actually... It's all of a sudden it looks a little bit more expensive.
Yeah. Especially like whenever it's like $15 to a filament to print off a couple of these full size figures, because you're printing off the figures and then all the supports and everything because they're fully articulated or whatever. And all that adds up, especially if it's multiple colors and they're being combined together.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like $15. I mean, I remember growing up, I don't know what action figure prices are these days, but figures used to cost like $7-8 at the store. Yeah. So you're looking at
about
double
$10 for a good one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now they're like about $20 usually on average.
That doesn't surprise me. Everything is just so much more expensive now. It's
and that's for the cheap ones. Like, that's not even like NECA or like any of the popular, like, more detailed brands that you
What was it? What was the brand you just said? NECA?
NECA, NECCA.
Oh, really? Is that a big one?
It's a fairly popular one. They were for a while. I think they've kind of like, they waned off. There's a lot of them now, though.
Interesting.
But they make like Todd McFarlane still makes his toys, and they're expensive.
That's that's the guy who did Spawn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, those ones I'm familiar with. Interesting. Yeah. So I don't have kids yet, so.
Well, those are all like adult toys. Like
those are like the adult ones when you go to like, okay.
Yeah. The articulate, they're not really made to be played with. And my son's just been in love with, like, especially the NECA stuff since he was like a toddler.
Yeah.
And we'd get them for him and be like, you can get them, but they're going to break. And whenever they break, we're not replacing them. And half the time, sure enough, they'd break pretty quick.
Do they not have like articulated arms or limbs and stuff like that? Or
they do, but they're very delicate. They're made more for like display. They're
made for adults, not for kids.
Yeah, not for kids that are yanking on them and pulling. They're not GI Joes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to see what the this is something I remember being more of a thing when I was a kid, but like action figures people would buy and preserve, like the Star Wars action figures. You get like an original Luke Skywalker in the original packaging. People used to joke about that. I wonder if that's still a thing, or if the market has now shifted. And like, I know Pokemon cards are huge.
Yeah.
Still, because they were big when people my age were young, right? So now they have a little bit of money. They're like, I'm going to get that holographic Charizard that I really wanted. Yeah. So I wonder if there's like a sweet spot for collectibles where it's like, whenever it was popular, plus 30 to 40 years or so, and then it kind of drops off after.
Not even that much, really. Like, it goes, like, it depends on so many things, like the brand and the, like what figure, like a character set you're collecting. All these different things. Like, I know, like, Ghostbuster stuff, which my son is highly into. We buy that as soon as it comes out because it sells out quick.
Does he like the current gen Ghostbuster stuff, or is he into like the classic?
All of it. Like, we go through to like vintage toy shops and we'll hunt for like old toys that he doesn't have yet. But he's pretty much still got all of them.
Okay.
Except for like some highly rare items. And because like the wall behind me, he's got the same one, same size wall, and it's just all shelving and it's full of all of his Ghostbusters toys. Like,
is it, and now is he, I mean, he's probably too young to really have this as an ambition, but is he playing it like in a long-term investment? Is he eventually going to sell it to buy a house, or is he just...
No, we've told him from day one, we're like, do not, because like he would kind of like, he'd want to save boxes and he'd want to save, like, keep things, buy things to collect for resale later. And we told him, like, don't do that. Just buy the toys, play with them, enjoy them. If you want to put them on display, great. But buy them because you enjoy them. Don't buy them because they're an investment for the future, because that's a game you're never going to win. Yeah. The house always wins on that one for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like some people got lucky in the sense that they bought something and maybe like accidentally held on to it. But I feel like there's very few people who are long-term collectors who tried to like make it a business who are super successful with it. Lego
has been pretty popular lately and a pretty decent investment from what I understand. Like, people will buy up all the Lego sets, and like I said, specific characters especially will sell out fast and they won't make any more of them. Right. So they'll buy them up and then turn around and resell them a year, sometimes 2, 3, 4 years after they've gone off the market completely.
That's I actually I don't know if it was like a TikTok video or something I saw, but basically it was a guy saying that his whole strategy was he would wait until Lego was about to discontinue some series and he would just buy the entire thing, and then he would wait 3 or 4 years and put it up on eBay, and he could usually expect to get, 300 to 400% return on that.
Oh yeah.
So it wasn't like super like, oh, I'm going to like hold on to this for 30 years, but it was like, I'm going to wait till it runs out of print and then I'm going to throw it up on eBay shortly after and, try and get those people who are like trying to get something they saw recently, but they can't get anymore, and they're willing to pay a bit of a premium for it.
Exactly. Yeah. I know we have my wife has a few people that she works with that they do that on the side. Like, they don't have kids or hobbies or anything, so they go around and they collect Legos, and they'll buy usually like a couple different multiples of the same ones, and they'll build one if they like it, and then they'll save the others, and then they'll just turn around and resell them in a few years for easily like 2-3 times what they paid for them.
So. Interesting little hustle.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could ever get into that. I wouldn't want to. What do you like? I mean, I guess if you're into Lego, you're into Lego and it's okay. Yeah. But I feel weird like having people come over to my house and be like, there's my pile of 1,000 Lego sets that I'm going to eventually resell in the next 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Well, they'll have like displays in their house. Like,
right. So if you're into
curio
Lego,
cabinets, with just like the things they built in them. altogether.
I'm trying to think if I had like any harebrained investment schemes. I think I like half-heartedly collected a lot of cards when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Again, because I think I would hear those stories of like, so and so's rookie card is now worth, $500. I'd be like, ooh, I should save all these cards, and then one day one of them might be valuable. I think I even had some signed cards as a kid.
The 80s and 90s kind of ruined that for everybody. Like they figured out, like people are buying up these cards because now the stuff from like the 40s and 50s is worth so much money because it wasn't popular back then.
Yeah.
And they just started cranking out stuff and calling it all like limited edition or like collector's edition and all. And I tell my son, like, if it says limited edition or collector's edition on there, that's just marketing. Don't buy it into it. That doesn't mean anything.
100%. Yeah, that's so funny to think about. You know what's a great movie or book that everybody should watch if they get a chance is I can't remember what it's called. It's like Beanie Baby Bubble, or it's essentially about like the guy who started the Beanie Baby thing and then how that craze got going and how he strategically fed into it. He realized that if he could create this artificial scarcity, he could really drive up sales of Beanie Babies. And so that's, all of this limited edition, limited run stuff. That's where that all comes from.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't come from there, but like he really popularized it and capitalized on it and made it a core part of the business.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah. That's crazy. That whole thing.
Yeah.
I had family members that just had tubs of Beanie Babies.
yeah. I didn't have any family members, but Sophie was saying her sister at the time like got really into it and had like display cabinets and stuff like that of them. And I think, and in their defense, I think, people say, the Beanie Baby bubble burst, but it's like, yes, but there's still some that sell for $500-$600. Like maybe they're not bringing in hundreds of thousands like they used to, but it still seems like a lot of money to pay for a little stuffed animal thing.
Stuffed animal, yeah. I think it's really ridiculous whenever it's like it's one of the early ones versus like the same exact figure essentially, but just manufactured a couple years later isn't worth nearly as much as the original. It's like, I don't care if it's the original one or not. I care about what it looks like.
Yeah, exactly. But that's you as a, you're not hardcore, man. You're not a hardcore Beanie Baby collector. Actually, one thing I did think about getting into now that I've, now that I have this YouTube channel that's ostensibly about just modifying game consoles is like getting some truly rare game consoles from like the 90s and stuff like that. Like we've talked about
Jaguar.
Like the Jaguar, exactly. Like it's stuff that was like so exotic. I never even got a chance to see it as a kid, but I know they were out there, and I'm sure you can find them on eBay. Like I'm gonna pull up eBay right now and see if I can find what's a Jaguar go for these days. The one that I always used to wonder about was the N64 disc drive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
you can get those. You can get them, but there's no North American titles for it. It's all like Japanese titles.
Exactly. Yeah. Jaguar game console. Let's see.
Yeah, like I want to get a couple of different consoles, but I collect consoles and I collect games and stuff like that. And I can go on eBay and easily bid for and win these things. But for me, I think it's more fun to visit different resale shops whenever I come across them and just hunt down the different things.
Yeah, okay, so I went to this big flea market. My friend invited me to go with him. There was a big flea market. It's like this multi-story thing in a warehouse. And I was there, and it's so funny because everything there was more expensive than eBay.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, it kind of ruined some of the charm of this experience for me because you feel like you're like digging through, all this stuff to like find these hidden gems. But then I would find a Sega Genesis and I would like lift it up and there'd be a price tag on it that said $200. I would open my phone, I would open eBay, and somebody would be selling on eBay for $100, and it's like it would be delivered to your door, 3 days later. It's like, why should I buy this beat up one at a flea market when I could have like a collector one for half the price?
No, you get burned on eBay a couple times. That'll change your mind too.
That's a good point. I have yet to be burned on eBay. So yeah.
Especially when you're dealing with like old games and stuff like that. Like I've gotten one where the ROM was switched out on an NES game. And it was just like a cheap basketball game.
So they like swapped the label on it essentially, or they took the chip out of
yeah, they just opened it, like, because the NES games, it's all on a PCB board.
Yeah.
So they just swapped out those boards, like the whole thing on the inside. Yeah.
What game was it?
What game was I betting on? Oh, it was a Metal Gear, one of the original Metal Gear games.
And they put a cheap basketball.
They put a cheap game in there, yeah.
Is the Metal Gear one like an expensive collector's item?
No, it was like $10. It wasn't drastically expensive, but the one that they swapped it out for is typically like $1. So
right. Oh man, that's such a slimy move.
I don't know if they did it or if it was just like because it was the resale. It was the eBay page was for a game reseller. So like like a storefront somewhere that they just resell online as well, and they usually have an eBay store. So I don't know if they just didn't inspect it, and that's how they got it. Or
give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're dealing in bulk, and especially not like for a $10 game, they might not want to invest 20 minutes to test it or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of stuff like that happens occasionally, and then you get a lot of like where my brother said that he'll get some games where they've it's not the original that's in the cartridge. It's like a remake. And that's like
a remanufacture or something like that. I've seen people, I've seen that happens quite a bit. I mean, there was, during COVID, there was a real run on retro games.
Yeah.
Like I think a Mario 64 in its original box and all that would fetch you like thousands of dollars.
Yeah. I had to stop collecting for a while because
So it's I don't know. It's one of those things I think about from time to time, but I'm also I don't like having a lot of stuff around. I'm kind of a minimalistic person, so
I figure I'll give myself the one thing, maybe two.
Yeah. I mean, I would very quickly spiral out of control with it, so that's probably the other thing that keeps me from doing it. Once you get one, it's very easy to keep going and get a bunch. Looks like a Jaguar runs about $500 for a regular one, but then evidently it looks like they had a CD-ROM attachment that you could get, and if you want the CD-ROM attachment, it goes up to about $2,000.
Wow.
Yeah, for like a nice new in-box one.
Well, there's your video. You can either buy it for $2,000 or I can create an emulator for $100 or whatever.
Yeah. That's what I'm actually working on. I talked about last week on the show that I want to buy myself the month of August. I'm working on a compilation video. I jammed all my like emulator videos together into a single video. And kind of showed the progression from one, how one inspired the next one, how it's kind of like chasing this high of the best emulated console. Yeah.
What'd you start off with and what'd you end up with?
I started with a Raspberry Pi 4, and I ended up with there was two kind of end spots. The one was like a modified Android phone.
Okay.
And then, so that one was, that one was very powerful. I could take it everywhere with me, so I was really happy. And then I also did a Mr. FPGA. Do you know what that is?
No.
So FPGA is a field programmable gate array. So it's a fancy way of saying it's a chip that's able to rewrite its internal circuitry on the fly.
Oh, wow.
So it can physically emulate old game consoles. Like it actually recreates the pathways of the original chips inside of this chip. So you get perfect one-to-one recreations of old game consoles.
Interesting.
The wrinkle with it is that it's only powerful enough to do like up to a Sega Saturn or something like that. That's kind of where it tops out. So it's still pretty powerful, but it's it gives you the most authentic experience you can have. But the trade-off is that it's not that powerful. So N64, Dreamcast, GameCube, all that stuff's kind of out of the question for it.
Yeah.
But it's like it's kind of the holy grail for purists.
Well, I'm sure over time that'll improve too.
Yeah, I've been kind of watching the news for it. I mean, definitely around the time when I first did that video, I was like very active on the news. Like, are they gonna? Because it's actually the limiting factor is the size of the chip or the number of circuits that it has inside the chip. So I was like looking to see if anybody was going to release a really big FPGA that could then do more powerful consoles. But nothing ever came from it. I should check again because I haven't checked in a good year or so. See if there's been any breakthroughs or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the more like your Dreamcast and N64 and all that, they had, multiple... not everything was processed under one chip. It had like multiple chips processing, like
and that's the crazy
stuff like that.
That's the crazy thing about this thing is that again, it's like the limiting factor is the number of like kind of emulated circuits that it can have inside of it.
Yeah.
So they will actually replicate each of the chips inside this one chip, if that makes sense. So you have like a quarter of it will be dedicated to what used to be the GPU, and then a quarter of it will be dedicated to what used to be the sound processing unit. And so you're trying to like, again, to physically replicate all of those different components inside this one chip.
I wonder if you could have like, if you could get multiples of them and have each one allocated to a different thing and then just have them come together.
I think you probably could, but I don't think anybody's actually taken that step to do it. Yeah, it's crazy enough to attempt it yet. But it's a great idea. Yeah. Yeah, the retro consoles are fun, man. If I had unlimited time and a bigger budget, I think I would probably geek out hard. I do the N64 disk drive. That would be a big one. And then also there was a N64 that got released in China that was all contained in the controller.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there was some arcane law back at the time that like outlawed game consoles, I think, but game controllers were okay. So it had it was a controller, it had the whole console in it, and it had like 10 games preloaded on it.
Huh.
It was called, I think it was called the Nintendo IQ. Let me look this up and see. The Nintendo IQ player. Very cool and not crazy expensive. I've seen these on eBay for like $500-$600. I thought it'd be fun to get one of those. I'm trying to think what other cool. The Sega Genesis, that was my console. That was my first console. You could get they had the CD-ROM add-on.
Yeah.
They had the Turbo Graphics 32X add-on.
Get the Tower of Power going.
The Tower of Power, yeah. You could like plug like 3 or 4 different things into it. I was like, that would be fun to recreate as an adult now. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. People will collect all sorts of different things.
Yeah. The Sega game that I have that's the most valuable is a Sega Genesis game.
What is it? I gotta ask.
It's called New Horizons, I think. It's an RPG.
Okay,
Yeah.
I gotta look this up. Tell me about it.
I haven't played it.
You haven't played it?
No, somebody gave it to me like 20-something years ago to borrow and to try out, and like it still had, it's got the case and the manuals and everything. He's like, this is a really great game. You got to try this out. And I was like, all right, cool. So I borrow it, and then I never heard from him again.
Really?
And I just have this game that's been in my collection forever, and it's like it's the game that's worth the most in my second most in my collection. My 10 gen Tetris game for the NES is actually worth the most.
Oh, okay. How much is a copy of New Horizons worth?
I think it's about $90.
Okay, that's not bad. You're still not beating inflation though, and I think that goes back to your comment earlier about how it's kind of fool's errand to try and play these games.
Absolutely, yeah.
If you bought that thing retail, I mean, yeah, that's funny. I still remember the way a Sega Genesis box smells.
Yeah,
that like new game smell.
Yeah, it's things you just don't forget.
I know, that's nostalgia. So funny. Oh man, Deric, you're pushing me, man. Maybe I'm gonna have to start collecting physical games and consoles.
Uh-oh.
I want to experience that, and I mean that is the charm of these things. It's like you're trying to recreate those nostalgic moments, right?
Yeah. I looked it up. It's actually worth 125 now. It is now my most valuable game.
Okay. Moving up.
Yeah.
Oh man. Do you ever think? I mean, clearly you're a little bit of a game enthusiast, but it hasn't bled over into any of your content. Do you ever see?
I have my brother and I do a podcast.
I know.
About
Yeah.
games and movies and stuff. So it comes out there.
Okay. So you haven't like segmented off into like this other.
No, nothing like that. I haven't.
You did your desk video, which there was potentially some room. You could have done something there.
Yeah. Well, I do have two more. I have a project for my son and a project for myself that are going to involve the consoles. Like he's gotten into collecting consoles and games, and so I'm gonna build the project after my daughter's bed that I have to do is a shelving unit under his TV to hold his new consoles and games and stuff like that. Because we had his birthday a few weeks ago, and he told me he wanted a retro gaming console. And I said, okay, which ones? And he told me he wanted the N60 or the what is it called again? The Xbox 360 and a Nintendo Wii. And I was like, well, those aren't retro, but thanks for making me feel older, buddy.
So, dude, I said modern game consoles like the GameCube and the PlayStation 2 in one of my videos, and people roasted. I still get comments about it to this day. I mean, he's kind of right. Xbox?
They're retro. They're technically retro now because it's over 20 years old.
Yeah, so, it's scary to think about those being retro. But I mean, the Wii especially, that one feels, because the Wii was essentially a GameCube in a new package, right? Yeah,
and that's the one he wanted, was the one that could play GameCube games.
Right.
Those knowledgeable enough.
See, again, that's like, you get into the nitty gritty of these old game consoles, and it's like you think a Wii is a Wii, but it's like, no, they actually like slightly modified it, and some are more desirable than other ones. Yeah. It was
a little harder to find than I thought, too.
Like the same thing happened with the PlayStation 2s. At a certain point, they used to be able to play PlayStation 1 games. And then Sony costed them down. They were like, it's funny, if you get an old enough PlayStation 2, it basically has a PlayStation 1 chip on it for backwards compatibility. Yeah. But
the lasers burn out on so quick.
Yeah.
Versus like the newer ones where they put in better lasers in them. So it's like, which side of this coin do you want?
I know, pick your poison, right? Yeah. And same thing with the PS3. The original PS3 had full backwards compatibility, but then at a certain point they got rid of it, and there are other improvements that come along with it. So,
that's been the one that's one I wanted for my collection, is that PlayStation 3 with the full backwards compatibility.
Full backwards. See, I'm thinking about doing a PlayStation 3 video in the near future, but I'm not going to get one with full backwards compatibility because one of the future ones is a little bit more. I want a water cooled one and see how far I can overclock it.
What can you push it to?
Yeah, how far can I push it? And the later ones you can push further.
Yeah, all right.
So that's my thinking there. But yeah, I do. And the PlayStation 3s with backwards compatibility are quite expensive now. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to do the shelves in his room, and it's actually a mini version of the shelves that I want to do for my room. So whenever I do his, it'll be like prototyping the ones that I want to do for mine. So it'll be kind of nice. Get to double dip there.
Interesting. Could you share? Would you ever join collections with your son?
No.
Okay.
I've seen the way he treats his games.
I see.
Yeah, he started collecting records, and he'll get
vinyl.
Yeah, vinyl, and so he'll get an album. And the first thing he does is he opens it up, and then he takes out the record with that little sleeve protector that it comes with, and throws out the sleeve protector, and then puts the record back in there. And I'm like, no, we collect in different ways.
Oh man.
Yeah, but like whenever he was 5, I did a short series of YouTube videos with him where we would go back and play old Nintendo games. Like we would just sit down and play Nintendo games for 15 minutes and talk about it. And we did like 3 or 4 of them. But they weren't that interesting because he was like 5, so he didn't really have a lot to I was having to carry all the conversation. It was like, and I wasn't that great at it. So
You're like, come on, kid, say something cute here.
And it's hard to like play the game and talk at the same time. Like there's a concentration thing that's happening that I couldn't get past. So I just kind of, they're all private now, and we have them for ourselves, and that's it.
It's a nice little memory that you'll be able to look back on with him later. But I feel like, it's actually quite a heavy lift to do commentary at the same time you play, and also to try and wrangle a 5-year-old at the same time.
Keep them interested.
Yeah, that's a lot. And honestly, I go back and I play games from my childhood, and I'm like, this kind of sucks. It's kind of boring. Like some of them are really rough around the edges.
Yeah, there's been a few that I've gone back and done that. I'm like, this isn't what I remember.
It's funny, like all the legends, like you're like, okay, Sega Genesis, the Sonic games, still very playable to this day.
Yeah,
but you go back and you try and play like the Batman game or something like that, and you're like, this is rough. This is, and you realize it's like there's a reason those became legends. Like that they captured so much mind space with people. They were really a cut above everything else that was available at the time.
And how much of it was like process, like was in your mind? Like how much of it you were filling in gaps because the game wasn't, but the story wasn't there or whatever. But in your mind, you're filling in those gaps and you don't realize it, and then you go back and you play it decades later and you're like, this isn't what I remember.
Well, that's why people always say that the book is better than the movie, right? Yeah. Because you're filling in so much is left up to the imagination.
Yeah.
And these days, they don't really do that with a lot of games. They kind of beat you over the head with the story and stuff like that. So
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few that I'm hesitant to go back and play because I have such fond memories of them. I'm like, I don't know if I want to ruin that.
Dude, that's perfectly reasonable. I think sometimes some things are best left as like a nice memory, and you don't need to go back and shine the light of the future on them and be like, oh, actually, this was quite rough around the edges. I don't know. It's nostalgia is a very powerful thing, and it's it's obviously something that I've tried to tap into a lot with my recent videos. So it's
Hey, you're doing a killer job of it for sure.
Thank you, dude. Thank you. It's fun. That's why I was asking you if you ever have any ambitions to incorporate any of the gaming stuff into your channel, because it's nice when two worlds combine, and there's an audience out there for it. People are curious about these things. They have similar nostalgic feelings. So I don't know.
I'd like to. I just don't know how.
Yeah. Well, I'm always happy to brainstorm with you.
Yeah. Like I know that like I don't feel like I have the I don't know if it's not to say, I don't know if I have the interest or experience enough to go into like doing mods or anything like that. Talking about a collection seems kind of boring, and then reviewing games seems like it's been done to death. So I'm not sure where it is for me yet.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if there's got to be some new lane that you could carve if you wanted to, but it's a matter of, so much of the stuff is just like experimentation. You throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and you see kind of like what sticks. Yeah.
And then that's the other thing. I just haven't had time to go back and like revisit. Like the only time I get to go back and revisit an old game is if we're going to be covering it on the other podcast, and then I'll go back and revisit. Like I'll make it a point to go back and revisit the game, but other than that, I don't really get a chance to go back and game as much as anymore.
And by the way, you should say the name of your other podcast so people who are listening can find it.
If you're interested, Millennial Talk. It's this podcast takes tokens. We talk about movies, games, music, primarily movies, and then every like fifth episode we'll integrate like a game or music or something like that.
So will you be like, will you both agree to like watch a movie, play a game before next week or something like that?
Yeah, that's typically, we'll agree on the movie ahead of time. Like we alternate who's hosting it, and then the host picks what the topic is.
Oh, I see. That's fun. Yeah.
So we'll go in like this week. We're going to be doing the movie Waiting from 2000.
Let's wait. Oh, is that the one where they work in the fast food restaurant?
Ryan Reynolds.
I love that movie. Yeah. Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds. Yeah. That's
So
cool.
after we get off here tonight, I'm going to go watch it and make my notes and then talk
you're
about it
for a
later
treat.
this week. Yeah.
That was a good
It's been a
one.
while since I've seen it. So I'm excited.
Yeah. And the game?
We haven't done a game in a while. Last game we did was Doom, and that was back in May.
Okay.
Yeah.
Original
We'll usually
Doom.
do a whole episode on a game if we do a game.
Okay. There's a lot. Yeah. I mean, like Doom is actually a great example of what you were saying before.
It can play on anything.
It can play on anything, but also there wasn't that much story to it. But they had these little things scattered throughout it.
Yeah.
Where there'd be like occasionally you'd find like a dead space marine, and you'd be like, "There's like some story here that like there's." And the later games built on it, but it was like they just had like little hints of it, and you could kind of fill it in with your own imagination. I played Doom when I was like probably a little too young. I think I first played it when I was like 6 or 7 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like a great game for like you can go through and play it so many times and discover new areas because like you can just go straight through it or you can like try and 100% it and there's so many secrets. Yeah.
And again, like not like a modern game, they didn't beat you over the head with the secrets. So there was all these little things. Yeah, you really had to explore to find them.
Yeah.
Damn, I want to go play Doom.
Yeah, I played it on like 5 different consoles for that, just to try different ways of playing it. So it was interesting.
I played it on my iPod.
You play? Yeah, I remember having it. They had it on the iPod, that old video iPod.
Yeah, I hacked my video iPod when I was in like 9th grade and put Doom on it. It was a horrible way to play. It was the worst control scheme ever, but it worked.
Yeah. In researching for it, I discovered that somebody hacked and got it to work on a personal massager.
A personal massager?
Yeah, which is interesting. Okay. I don't know why you'd want that, but it's out there. Or a toothbrush. Like there was like a toothbrush with like a little screen on it. Somebody got to work on there.
There was actually, we gave a book recommendation earlier. There was a Doom book. And there was a book about the early history of ID Software. And they were the guys who did Doom, Castle Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
What else did they do? I think they did Quake as well.
Yeah, they did Quake, id Software. I think they did.
It was very.
One.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the other one was. I'm trying to think of.
Masters of Doom is what the book was called. Very, very good read if you're a nostalgic video game nerd.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, Doom, Quake, all that. Some good stuff.
That's such a great era. And shareware, do you remember shareware?
Oh, yeah. Like, that was what we got Doom on to begin with.
That's how I got started, yeah.
Yeah.
You get the shareware version of it.
Get the shareware version for free if somebody else already had it. Or I think you paid like $5 at the game store, and then you could bring it back and exchange it for like the full game and get a credit towards it or something like that.
Cockamamie schemes back in the day to try and get you hooked on a game. I
there were some sharewares where you could just like, if you knew how, you could unlock the whole game.
Yeah, well, a lot of
the shareware was just it.
Well, a lot of the shareware, how it would work is there would be like a code.
Yeah.
And you would call a number, you'd give them your credit card over the phone, or you'd send them a cashier's check or whatever the hell it was back in the day. Then they would give you the code over the phone, and you would like type it into your thing, and it would unlock the full game experience. Yeah. And people figured out how to
just hack it out.
Yeah.
Or you can go in and change your inventory items through like the individual files you could find and unlock different things. They were not locked down very well back in the day. I remember I used to do that with Warcraft all the time, the original Warcraft.
Oh, you could go really?
Yeah, and just give yourself like a ton of like whatever inventory you needed or change those things.
I didn't know about that. I was a big Warcraft player when I was young. That was one of my first strategy games.
Yeah, the original one. I never played Warcraft Online, but the original one I loved.
The strategy game, like the top down, right?
Yeah.
I kind of got into that when it went all
SimCity, like Joe's talking about down in the. That's probably my all-time favorite PC game is SimCity 3000.
Even to this day, those city building games really tickle a part of my brain that I really enjoy. What's the other one? There's a new one out now called Cities Unlimited, I think.
Yeah,
City Skyline.
Yeah.
It's such a mindless game. Like there's no objective to it. You just try and build the biggest city possible, keep all these things in balance. But it really gets my brain firing on all cylinders, which I enjoy.
Those resource gathering games.
100%.
Or go on to the Aftershow.
Yeah, I was going to say on that note, talking about resource gathering, we've been going for an hour. I think we should maybe head on over to the Aftershow.
Yeah, keep this going.
Yeah, all right. Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in and listening. I think we did an amazing job without Eric here to slow us down. And, the thing is, he's too much of a bro. We can't really geek out on video games nearly as much when he's here. So come on, guys, let's talk about hockey or something cool. So it was nice.
Table saws.
Yeah, exactly. All right, everybody, we will see you next week.
See y'all around.
I want to give a huge shout out to our returning top tier patrons. Corey Duvall at Woodcrafts and Honey, Josh at Sawdust Builds, Joe Welsh at Delaware Valley Workshop, Goblin Spanker.
Can't say that anymore.
Building Creative. Dadu said, yeah, buddy. Bill Burkle at WTB Woodworking.
Bingo bango, you're done.
Zach, to be honest with you, I don't even know if I follow you.
You should stop.